Hey guys, so this is a video that we're going to talk about your assignment that's due on Wednesday, specifically the DBQ introduction. All right, so first let's go open up the introduction a little bit because we gotta go over the basic ideas. All right, so your main DBQ question that you're answering is exactly what is containment and how was it used during the Cold War? Remember, the Cold War was between the U.S. and the Soviets, capitalism versus communism, and our whole goal is make sure that communism does not spread. So throughout the Cold War, there are going to be some events that show why we needed containment and how it worked. The four documents will go through that, and we'll do that in the other video explaining the essay. But for today, you're going to be doing the introduction, right? So once again, if you were here on our video instructions for the week, you can click on here and it takes you directly to the document that shows you how the essay is supposed to look in general from beginning to end. We are going to concentrate just on this video on the introduction. All right. So your introduction, again, you will have a Google, as the instruction tell you, open up a Google Doc. Do not make it public. Instead, share it with me, but still link it to my website by 4 p.m. Title it Containment DBQ Intro, full name, first and last name, and then period. On that one, you're going to do your introduction, which entails, I'm sorry, 8 to 10 sentences. All right, the 8 to 10 sentences will be distributed between your hook, your background, and your thesis. All right, it should be one flowing paragraph, not three separate chunks. All right, your hook, use a story, 4 to 5 sentences to get the attention of the reader. You're trying to make the reader think about the topic you will be writing about without actually saying the name or idea of the topic. So you want me to think about what you want me to think about without telling me it. If you could do that with your story, you hook me, which is the idea of a hook to get my attention. Then you proceed in the background to tell me what's going on. What's the era we're talking about? What are the main topics that are being described? In the hook, you want them to think about the topic. Here, you bring up the topic and give them extra information to help them understand what's going on. And then in the thesis is you write the sentence that basically answers the question or questions of the DBQ. Here is where you tell the reader what you will be writing about in your body paragraphs. Example, the United States used the policy of containment to fight the spread of communism by this, comma, this, comma, and that, comma, period. Right? Where do you get the three things? It's again from the containment DBQ from the documents, right? So you're going to have to figure out a way to combine this and put them into your thesis, where you're telling me how they use containment to stop the spread of communism. All right. So in Hook, one of our biggest fears was that communism is coming here. We went over some propaganda posters of how, scary they made it look like if communism came here. It was like the boogeyman. This is when they try to get people to be afraid of it because as we talked about, when your fear level goes up, your intelligence and reason goes down and you're a lot easier to control. So they use propaganda to get people to fear. So what story can you write about potentially communism spreading here or around the world, or how it would affect our country if communism won, if Soviet Union won, if Stalin won? What story can you write here to make me think about this topic without bringing it up specifically? Once you've done that, then in your background essay is where you bring up the era. All right, we're talking about the era right after World War II. We're talking about the era that's going to last for 45 years, the Cold War. It is not an actual war where the US and the Soviets went to war with each other, big battles, nuclear bombs going off. It was more of a competition, scary competition at times where things got really, really hot. And how many different examples that we talked about through the unit where it looked like we're about to go to war and then they would back off. And so you got to describe that era here. Describe again the era and then describe the main topics, which is again containment, the communism, even like putting in the domino effect and our attitude about stopping it. So here you make us think about the topic. Here you're going to tell us about the topic, and then you tell us in your thesis, right? Exactly how did they do it? So again, here's a simple example, and it's up to you to fill it in. So again, the U.S. used the policy of containment to fight the spread of communism by, and then you got to come up with using these documents to tell me three different things. Remember the three different ways the three different things that you put in your thesis as examples of how they use containment to stop the spread of communism will be your three body paragraphs. But we'll talk about that in the next video. All right. Let me know if you have any questions on introduction. Once again, it is due by 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Thank you.